Welcome back. You're watching Newslink, and it's time now for the entrepreneurship segment called Entrepreneurship My Journey. Today I'm hosting Curiocity, a hospitality and tourism industry network of African design hotels and hostels, showing an authentic experience of this continent, one city at a time. Now they connect curious travelers to what's exciting, inspiring and real in whichever location that they choose to go to. I'm joined now by the founder, Bheki Dube. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, Bheki. And I just, before we get into the business around Curiosity, you were at this year's ITB Berlin 2023, the biggest trade fair in the world, some have said. Why was it important for you to be part of the trade fair, and what is it that you took away from exhibiting and sharing with other business owners like yourself?
Yeah. No, thank you for having me, and thank you for the viewers for listening and tuning in. I think it was very paramount for us to be at ITB as the world has finally opened up, and we haven't really had a massive travel show since the pandemic. And I think really to go out there, remarket the product, connect with industry colleagues, share our authentic South African stories, and inspire travel again, you know. So it was very, very important for us to just make our mark, and being under the South African Tourism Pavilion with a diverse basket of different products, and being able to really, really, really just bring people back into South Africa and engage with the agents and DMCs that bring a lot of traffic to our country.
Mm-hmm. Now, what is it about Curiosity that is, well, not what is it rather, tell us a little bit about Curiosity and what exactly you all do at the business, the message that you were communicating as Curiosity at the conference.
For sure. So, yeah, I mean, we are a network of design-led hotels, hostels, and travel experiences across South Africa. We've got sites in Johannesburg, we've got sites in Cape Town, and really looking at expanding within the South African landscape short-term and then more medium into long-term across the African continent. And really, we're trying to target a very niche market. This niche market is really people young at heart, people who are not just coming to stay in their rooms, but are wanting to come and immerse themselves. They're exploring, they're going to Soweto, they're doing street art tours with us, they're doing cycle rides, they're going on safaris. So this adventure-led individual, mainly really between the ages 18 and 35, digital nomads, Generation Z. And we're trying to make traveling accessible, design-led, experience-led, and saying to people, listen, get off the bus, get off the car, come explore our exciting cities, our exciting neighborhoods with Curiosity. So that's really our mission and our core at heart.
And what were some of the challenges that you experienced when you were starting up, and then it also came to scaling and offering the diversified product offering that you have, that you've just described to us? But surely there were some challenges, and I'm keen to understand what they were and how you were able to work around them.
Yeah, I think, listen, there's many, challenges and pillars. I started Curiosity when I was 21 years old. I'm 30 now. So obviously, starting out at a very young age, there's a lot to learn. And then two, I think access to funding becomes quite hard as a startup generally in South Africa. And I think, being able to convince, I think, the right investors, the right people to come into the table. And I think particularly focusing at a certain niche, in a certain market. What we are doing is a very, very, very disruptive and a new thing to South Africa. We don't consider ourselves a hotel, but we are a hybrid hotel. So we're merging co-working, co-living, coexisting within these spaces. It's grown globally, but in South Africa, it's a new thing. So convincing the right investors is to really see this vision and pay attention to it and say, listen, stop with the traditional ways on how hospitality and travel has been done. There's something that's new that's going to shift the landscape. Was quite a challenge. And then I guess, like many other businesses, really, we're very committed in employing youth, getting the right people into basically, these spaces and sharing their stories. So inspiring talent and saying, listen, tourism and hospitality is not just an afterthought. It's a space where you can come in and become an entrepreneur, be a game changer in this industry. It's been quite an interesting, challenge, but we've been able to really, really inspire. We employ about 6 to 7 team members directly. We've been able to inspire really and have these people be part of the brand and see a bigger vision to what we're trying to achieve across South Africa.
That's really encouraging. Over 60 people that you have under your employment directly, actually. That's very important because that speaks to the importance of entrepreneurship, like you say, in that it grows the economy, but also offers opportunities to those who are seeking work or would like to work for themselves eventually. But when it comes to government support, did you find, or did you get any support? And if you did, how easy or tough was it?
Yeah, so I mean, listen, we haven't been able to unlock any potential through government structures. We've been lucky to, attend trade shows like ITV now through South African Tourism. In the year 2019, I won the Minister's I Do Tourism Award. So really what that does is that it opens a lot of market access. So, yeah, travel shows like ITV, back home, shows like Travel in Daba. Right now we're in Brazil. Brazil has become a new segment, basically, and a key source market within the Curiocity brand. So being able to, get opportunities to be able to market and target our brand to these particular segments and to these markets is very, very, very key. So we're fortunate and happy about that. But I think the government should really be taking a bigger view, particularly on products like Curiocity, on youth-led businesses. They play a very, very, very instrumental role in just shifting the narrative of tourism in South Africa. And I think we should be going in at universities, at schools, and encouraging tourism as a vehicle for change and encouraging tourism as an entrepreneurship, mandate, really. I remember when I was in high school, if you didn't do well in maths and sciences, then you told, go do tourism. But if someone had told me that within tourism, you can become the next Saul Kersner, you can become the next Jerry Mabena, I would have already jumped on it at a very, very young age. So I want to become really, I guess, that next generation that's inspiring the next black kid, really, to say, listen, come into tourism, come into hospitality, and you can become a really successful entrepreneur within this niche.
Mm-hmm. Now, so that's a very important point that you raised there in creating the necessary support so that we can see the growth of businesses such as Curiocity. What about the landscape in South Africa, the tourism landscape? You've obviously engaged various stakeholders for a long time now, and I'm just wanting to gauge your view on the short to medium term outlook for the tourism sector. Are you optimistic, given that we have left the pits of the pandemic and we're gradually starting to see things getting back to pre-COVID levels?
Yeah, listen, I mean, as an entrepreneur, you've got to be optimistic, right? Otherwise, you're shooting blindly. So I am very optimistic. I think we've seen really great recovery signs within the domestic market. They were able to allow us to wash our face during the pandemic, and we're grateful for that. We've been able to convince a larger, basically generation of local travelers to understand that you can explore and travel your backyard. And I think as things open up, it's important for institutes, government-led institutes, where we seek funding, for private-led institutes. They're very risk-averse on the tourism industry, and it's important for them to take off the blinds and see opportunity. When the tides are low, that's where you really come in and find opportunity and transform and change an industry. So I'm highly, highly, highly encouraging, really, from government to private sector individuals to look at businesses and brands like Curiosity and say, how can they come in and play their part in either investing in these type of brands and accelerating growth within South Africa.
Thank you very much for joining us all the way from Brazil. Bheki Dube, he is the founder of Curiocity. Thank you very much for your time this morning, and the very best of luck to yourself and other entrepreneurs who are trying to make big waves in the country. We have